Welcome to 734 Games, and this is Game Time, and this is your host Tom. And before we get started on this HomeFront 2011 episode of Game Time, let me just ask you, my nephew is getting cancer treatments. His Gofundme is in the description. Check that out. Any money given to the Bitchute channel will go to that. And with that being said, let's get started with HomeFront. So let's get started with this HomeFront episode. Now, a little background on HomeFront. HomeFront was based on a novel, Red Dawn, which later on ended up being a movie called Red Dawn with the late, great Patrick Swayze out of Texas. And it was basically a book where basically in America's enemies, the Chinese and the North Koreans and the Russians came and took over the United States. Now, in this game, they had to take out two of those countries. Mainly one of them, China, because China said that they didn't want to be in this game, and they basically used their influence to get their troops out of this game. But anyway, this game is HomeFront, and it's actually a decently made game. It's by Chaos Studios, and it was published by THQ Nordic. Now, this game got a sequel. The sequel's pretty decent, but I think the sequel used the CryEngine. This one used Unreal 3 engine. So basically what I did is I went, I in my video about The Killer is Dead, another game that used the Unreal 3 engine, I left instructions in the description on how to go in the files and upgrade the game to native 4K. Because back when these games came out, these games were not obviously in native 4K. You could bump them up to 4K if you had the hardware, but the hardware was very expensive. But in the Unreal 3 engine, it will run native 4K. And I think this game looks pretty good, actually, in native 4K. It looks as good as it is, almost as good as the second one did, or a lot of other games out there now. So, I mean, this is a decent-looking game, some decent graphics, and also you can change the frame rate. Maybe I'll put that in the description again, just so you guys can see it, because it pretty much works the same in most Unreal Engine games. Remember Me is another one that I did that too, and I think I may want to play through that one again and show you guys that one, how it looks with 4K. This game, you're seeing this game. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably seeing it in 4K. Most of my audience is on Bitchute and Odyssey and Bittube TV. But I have a YouTube video. I do YouTube videos for a reference so you guys can see the game in 4K. Bittube does HD, but the other two don't right now. And I hope that Bitchute they upgrade their servers and their hardware so they can do 4K eventually. Because it'd be really awesome if they did. But right now, I get like 1% of my views on YouTube. I get most of my views on Bitchute, which is a really good alternative. Bitchute, Odyssey, and Bittube TV. Those are great alternatives to YouTube. I mean, it's not like a couple years ago where you had almost no alternatives to YouTube. You can pretty much do videos like this and not put anything on YouTube if you really want to, because you can Odyssey and Bittube TV have profit sharing. Bitchute doesn't yet have a standardized profit sharing thing, but it'd be pretty cool if they did, and I hope they're working on that. But anyway, we're talking about HomeFront, which is a really cool shooter game. It feels a lot like Call of Duty, one of the older Call of Duties as far as the gameplay, and the graphics are, like I said, I bumped up the graphics on the PC version. It looks pretty good now. If you're gonna play it on a console version, now I don't know if this game has backwards compatibility. Let me check that for you Xbox guys to see if this game has backwards compatibility. The only thing is the game obviously will probably not look this good. It probably will not be enhanced. THQ is kind of cheap on that. So let's just go see for a moment. So no, HomeFront is not backwards compatible for you Xbox guys. Sorry about that. You can't. You have to have an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 or PC, and I would say PC is your best bet. Unreal Engine 3 games run really good, and Epic Games still supports them, although this game, you can't get it on the Epic Game Store, at least not that I've seen. I haven't seen a lot. Actually, a lot of the UE3 games are not on the Epic Game Store, but they're on Steam, and I'm pretty sure Epic still supports that engine because there's a lot of games that run it. and the games run great in 4K. I mean, no problem. If you have a modern PC, basically, I mean, anything that's like a 1650 graphics card, or maybe even a 1060, is going to run Unreal 3 engine games in 4K. And that's native, and that's when that's if you go into the files and bump them up. Although some of the games are unlocked, like Borderlands 2, unlike this game, is unlocked in the files, so you don't have to worry about that if you're playing the Borderlands series. But with this game, you're gonna have to go in the files, and it looks good. I mean, it runs great. I had no problem, and everything runs like it's supposed to and looks good. The hit detection is decent. I think it's a decent game here. I haven't played it all the way through, but I'm enjoying what's here, and if you like Call of Duty, and you're going to like this game. So that's pretty much what I have to say about Homefront so far. Maybe down the road I'll probably do another video when I play all the way through it. I'll do another video for you guys. I'm trying to finish up Detroit Become Human. That's a really fun game. I'm really enjoying that. I mean, I know it's a different type of game than I normally play on here, but that's a really fun game, and I'm really totally enjoying the story in that. This is a good game. It's not much for story, but the action is pretty cool. And you got some cool gadgets, and you get to blow stuff up. So that's what's cool about Homefront. So, I mean, in that way, I think Homefront's a little bit more explosive than the second one, although the second one's more of an open world game. So that's pretty much it for this episode of Game Time, coming to you from 734 Games, where gaming is alive.
Goddamn resistance! What are you doing here? We're a peaceful community. There are families here, man. You can't be bringing us this kind of trouble.
Everyone calm down. As soon as the others get here, we're moving on. Sure they weren't following. We're leaving. We should all get inside. Let's not attract attention. God damn it, Colin. I said don't come here. You risk starting a shitstorm right where these people live.
We had nowhere else to go. The area's crawling with KPA.
We're supposed to be fighting for these people, not hiding behind them.
Who the fuck's hiding?
That's enough, both of you. You must be the pilot. I'm Boone Carlson. I founded this thing. U.S. military is gathering near San Francisco. They need fuel. We have a plan to get it there. We need more.